Okay, here we are, sitting again in our usual haunt, the Caribbean of the Camden Road, to discuss this week's edition of the G-Man Talks Boxing. I'm here with the G-Man. Now, we've got a big fight coming up on August the 31st, which has been much talked about, which is Anthony Yarde versus Sergei Kovalev at the Tractor Sports Palace in Russia. This is a big step up for Yarde. I mean, it's a world away, isn't it? So what's your take on this fight, G-Man?
Well, apparently Russia is a mutual country. I don't know where you get that from, but that was drawn to me that it's a mutual country. It's a funny fight. I think Kovalev is ready to go. Can Yarde do it? That's the question. You know, can he back him up and do the business? You know, in this situation, Yarde is in a winning situation. He could be epic by winning this fight. If you don't win this fight, it goes the distance and it looks a little bit good. It gives him the incentive going to fight for a world title. If he doesn't do that, there's no reason why he can fight for a world title, because he's going to lose the incentive to fight for a world title. But this is an opportunity for him to move on. This is his opportunity.
Well, Tyson Fury said today that he fancies Yarde to win, but he also said that if Yarde doesn't win, then he should quit boxing. Can you explain that?
I understand what he's saying is conjecture to the whole situation about the performance he put on. At the end of the day, it's about performance. A great performance, an epic performance makes him a winner. An ordinary performance keeps him to carry on. If he can go the distance, if he doesn't win and he goes the distance and he makes it competitive. But listen, he has a future. If he doesn't do that, his future is not bright. He has to do what I do, go to Specsavers.
Now what the lads were saying the other day, James Cook, Sylvester Mitty, Dean Cooper and so on, they were saying that it was the amateur experience of Kovalev against the almost non-amateur experience of Yarde that was going to be the game changer. Do you, and the home, and of course the fact he's at home in Russia, so Yarde's going to have to knock him out. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, if you look at Kovalev, one of the ingredients that Kovalev has as a fighter is that word, the crusher. He wants to crush you. And that doesn't seem to be there in his last couple of fights, the crusher. He doesn't seem to have that motivation to want to crush you. And that is very significant. The thing about it is that I don't see that in Yarde either. I see the Yarde backing up on boxing and looking, you know. No. Kovalev is there to be taken, but you have to go and crush him.
Okay, so on that show, I've looked it up. They've got one of the most weirdest titles I've ever seen. Do you know what it's called?
Tell me, please.
It's called the Vacant. Sorry for the delay in this. It's called the Vacant Eurasian
What's
Boxing
that?
Parliament Super Featherweight title. The Vacant Eurasian Boxing Parliament Super Featherweight title between two undefeated fighters. I mean, come on now. And BoxRec are actually listing it. I mean, God almighty. I mean, I thought I'd heard of titles in my time, but that one takes a biscuit, doesn't it?
It's the House of Parliament. You know, the House of Parliament, Eurasian House of Parliament. I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Well, then we move on to the big show that Eddie Hearn is putting on the following weekend on the 31st, which of course is Vasyl Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell, and we've already said that in previous broadcasts that Campbell may get a hiding. But the fight that interests me is actually Hughie Fury on the undercard against Alexander Povetkin. That's a good fight in actual fact. How do you see that one?
Well, Povetkin won't go away, will he? He just won't go away, Povetkin. Can Fury put him away? I don't think so. He should do. Because the thing about he's about the future. He should put Povetkin away. Povetkin is ready to go now. I mean, what is he now? 40? He's really ready to go now. But it's up to Fury to put him away. The thing about the fight that I'm interested about is Campbell. Campbell is the bigger guy. But can he open up? Can he have that desire? Can he go and tell Lomachenko, I'm going to put you away, Chinko? Can he do that? I don't think so.
The answer's no. Now, there's two interesting fights on the undercard. One is with Yarde's main rival here in the UK, which is of course Joshua Bouatsi, who's a Ghanaian-born Brit, and he's boxing Ryan Ford. How do you see Bouatsi generally? I mean, I think his ring IQ is really, really top.
I think Bouatsi is just a matter of time now. You know, he's got a good pro attitude. You know, I think he's. I would like to see a little bit more of him. I'd like to see him more often. I don't think he's boxing enough. That's the situation here. He needs to box more often. He needs to get that more often. Not just for the public, but also for him to get ring awareness. You know.
The other fight on the undercard, there's a lot, but the one that also catches my eye is Savannah Marshall, that super middleweight from Newcastle. She was signed up by Mayweather. She's now quit the Mayweather camp, but she was signed up by Mayweather mainly because she had an amateur win over Claressa Shields, who's a middleweight. Now, Savannah's a very, very accomplished boxer.
Wow.
She's unbeaten in about 6. She hasn't boxed for a while. Matchroom have obviously taken up her contract because she's potentially a world beater. So, you know, Shields has been coming out, and she really wants to. She's hurt by Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall hasn't said too much. You know what Shields is like. She'll start.
You know.
But she's really worried by Savannah Marshall. That could be a fight down the line.
You know. If you said to me, G, what's the fighter you admire right now? I would say to you, the best fighter in the world right now that I actually admire is Shields. Shields is so exciting. For me, it's unbelievable.
Now, why do you think with Shields and all the women fighters that there are very few stoppages awarded? That, you know, there's a couple of reasons for that. Can you tell us what those reasons are?
You know. I don't know why someone in their wisdom decide that women can only box 2 minutes. 2 minutes, you can't even blow a balloon out. You know, you need a little bit more. Listen, we're not talking about people who's in the novice range. We're talking about professional fighters. They need that 3 minutes the same as a guy to do the same thing. So I think
that's one of them.
It's just a matter of time.
And what about the gloves? I mean, they're definitely a few ounces heavier. I think men's do 8 and 10s or 8s, and the women do 12. I'm not exactly sure. I know they're heavier because the flyweight, the world champion flyweight, Nicola Adams, you know, that's fighting also in the Albert Hall on the Du Bois build. She's come out in the past complaining about the balloons that she has to wear. So with the 3 minutes, or the lack of it, 3 minutes, and the bigger gloves, does that explain it? Does that, because Claressa Shields can hurt you, but she doesn't stop many people.
Well, you see, the thing about it, people think that gloves, the balloons of the gloves, is the reason why not being stopped. When you have thinner gloves, what they do, they cut you. But when you have bigger gloves, believe you me, it's a big poundage inside of you. That is actually more dangerous than the very slim gloves. You know, the slim gloves cuts you, but they don't have that impact. It's the impact that knocks you out.
So because of the lack of impact and the 2 minutes, that probably explains why the likes of Claressa Shields are not getting their opponents out of there so easily.
They have to change their attitude a little bit more. Rather than boxing to get and fight, they have to change their attitude. Listen, to knock someone out is not the easiest thing in the world.
Now, I know you don't like making predictions, but I'm going to ask you for 3. You've already said that Luke Campbell's going to get stopped by Lomachenko. Well, that's what the rest of the world think. Let's have one, please, for Anthony Yarde and Kovalev.
I'm hoping that Yarde puts up a good performance, an epic performance. Whether he wins or loses, what is interesting, what is very important, please, mate, I know you will give it your best, but make it epic.
Okay, you slightly sat on the fence, but Hughie Fury versus Alexander Povetkin, please give me a straight up prediction. Povetkin, by stoppage?
Povetkin.
Right. So he's still got something left, or at least enough left to beat the likes of Hughie Fury.
Stoppage. And I want Fury to put up a good fight.
Well, I think he'll put up a good fight. Well, that's a quick roundup for today because we're bang in the middle of the holiday season. But obviously every week now we'll be broadcasting live from Camden Town, the G-Man Talks Boxing.
We'll be back.
Thank you, G-Man.
We'll be back.